Selamat pagi. Welcome to the latest news from Bali and Indonesia. This is July 27th, 2022, and my name is Bruce. And what is the weather like today? It is so sunny, so incredibly sunny. I'm shooting inside because I cannot find a shady place outside. The temperature is up a little bit. Today, it right now is 30.3 degrees Celsius. Humidity is 51%, and the wind speed is 7.4 kilometers per hour. And it is another beautiful day here, and I hope that wherever you are, it's a beautiful day as well. So I'm testing out a new lens and filming inside to try to get away from all the changes in light that happens when I'm outside and the sun goes behind a cloud and things get dark, and I've been working on settings. I'm still working on it, so I'm inside today where there is sun too. I put curtains up, and I mentioned that before, and it's impossible to keep the sun out. Reminds me of the old Beatles song, Here Comes the Sun. And well, I enjoy the sun, but boy, it makes filming difficult sometimes. Today is focused on health to start with. The numbers, which have just jumped up suddenly, and foot and mouth disease, which is in the news. And despite a news source that I know some of you read that says that there is no local reporting in the Bali press about foot and mouth disease, there is. I don't know what news they're reading, and I'm not going to mention the source because I don't want to end up getting sued or reported for defamation with the ITE laws here. But they frequently have clickbait articles, and they misreport things, mistranslate things, and this is just not true. There is a lot of information in local press about this because of the farmers and because some problems with milk as well. And it is true. This is spread all over the country now, and the government is dealing with it the best that they can. So that's the second lead story. There's two lead stories today. One is the numbers, and then that. And there's a couple of Bules Behaving Badly. I know a lot of you like the Bules Behaving Badly. One with drugs, and this is really behaving badly. And the other one is just so bizarre. You have to stick around to the end to hear this one. Or you can jump ahead and use a timestamp. But wow, when I read that, I thought, what are people doing here? Wow. Okay. All right, so let's get right into the numbers. National new cases, 6,483. Yes, we are up at over 6,000 now. And the other day we were down at 4,000. So this is going back and forth, back and forth. And first story is going to be on that. So let's go on. National recoveries, 3,511. National deaths, 13. So we were at 0 the other day. We've suddenly spiked up to 13. Bali new cases, 228. We are now over the 150 mark, which is where we were hovering. 228 here. Bali recoveries, 137, and 4 deaths in Bali. And there are a lot of people that I hear coughing and sneezing and having sore throats and headaches and stuff, and refuse to even consider that they've got COVID. So the numbers could be significantly higher than they are. So let's take a look at the first story about COVID. Indonesia's COVID-19 daily cases increased more than 6,000. The highest is DKI, Jakarta, 2,974 people. Other provinces that contributed to the rate of confirmed cases at the national level: West Java, 1,334, Banten, 952 cases, East Java, 412, and Bali with 228. The COVID-19 Handling Task Force also reported the number of deaths increased to 13. And I've already talked about that. Additionally, there are 7,071 people who fall into the suspect category. These results were obtained after testing 141,961 specimens in the laboratory networks throughout Indonesia. Now, the daily specimen positivity rate is 8.60%. Daily person positivity rate, 6.28%. And you remember that the WHO guideline is 5%, so we are up over that. According to Minister Budi, the Minister of Health, He said even though the cases are rising slightly, the current handling of the pandemic is going well and there is no reason to panic. I love it when government officials say don't panic. They say that a lot. According to the Indonesian Ministry of Health's daily COVID-19 report, the number of active cases today is the highest since May. Pak Budi said as many as 81% of COVID-19 cases in Indonesia were Omicron BA4 and BA5 subvariants. And so to reiterate, he said things are under control, but the public is advised to remain obedient to health protocols and hasten access to COVID-19 vaccination services. You know, if you've watched any videos of people walking around, especially foreigners, nobody's wearing a mask. And, well, I'm going to have a video up maybe later today or tomorrow when I did a fun day, well, a car-free day. Zoe and I are calling it fun day. Car-free day in Singaraja the other day. Some of the people were wearing masks and some weren't. And I was the only foreigner there. So, well, I was wearing a mask. And there were a lot of cops around, and they were not telling anybody to put masks on that weren't wearing masks. So the mask mandate is not being enforced, definitely. So not good news, but no reason to panic. And we'll just have to wait and see. Remember 3 or 4 videos ago, I said that the government had revised their predictions for when there was going to be a spike from mid-July to maybe the beginning of August, and the beginning of August is coming up in another few days, and so we'll just have to keep an eye on the numbers and see what's happening. Okay, let's talk about FMD, foot and mouth disease. Widespread outbreak of FMD, quarantine agency beefs up security. The Agriculture Quarantine Agency has tightened supervision of the traffic of livestock and their products. The agency's head of Animal Quarantine and Vegetable Biosafety Center, Vishnu Wasisa Putra, said he's monitoring entry and exit gates at airports, post, and post offices. The agency conducts a 14-day quarantine in the export area and PCR or ELISA test on animals suspected of being infected with the disease, as well as strengthening biosecurity through disinfection at the entry and exit points. Vishnu argued that the traffic supervision of animals and their products between regencies and provinces on one island is under the authority of the regency or city or provincial authorities. So the local people have to get together and do their job. That's what he's saying. Citing the government's website, the foot and mouth disease outbreak occurs in 22 provinces as of July 25th, 2022. The number of infected animals has reached 412,448. The number of recovered animals, 185,009. There are still 218,770 animals infected with the disease, according to official numbers. The animals that have been vaccinated recorded at 640,731. The government also noted that 3,304 animals died due to FMD and 5,365 animals were slaughtered. And so culling is happening. Despite what this one source said. And what's happening in Java? I've talked about Bali before, and I said I didn't know what was going on in the other islands. Well, here's a report on what's happening in East Java. Accelerating PMK vaccination, East Java provincial government deploys 2,450 veterinary health workers. And PMK is foot and mouth disease in Indonesian. The number consists of 950 veterinarians and 1,500 veterinary paramedics. According to the governor of East Java, Kofifa, he said, "We are collaborating with the Center for Animal Husbandry Training and the Indonesian Veterinary Association to train 1,200 health workers from the military and police." Additionally, he said, in order to accelerate vaccinations, the East Java provincial government is involving young doctors from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, Airlangga University, Brawijaya University, Malang, Wijaya Kusuma, and that is a total of 600 young medical students. So the government is mobilizing resources trying to get this under control. The governor said with this number of human resources, East Java has 950 vaccinator teams that are able to vaccinate an average of 12,500 to 15,000 animals per day. He said a total of 600,000 doses of vaccine can be completed in 1.5 months, but he said we are recalculating the acceleration option. And in the future, his party hopes that the supply of vaccines from the center can be smoothly distributed to the regions. And I talked about this the other day. In Bali, they were complaining that they don't have enough vaccines and they're waiting for the central government to get there. And so supply lines, lack of vaccines, those are problems right now. According to the governor, the trend of PMK cases in East Java has begun to decline quite significantly. Previously, cases were 6,000 a day. Now they are about 1,000 a day. Still way too many. And of the vaccinated animals, 267,250 dairy cows. This is just in East Java. 109,751 beef cattle, 2,290 breeding cattle, 800 conservation animals spread across Taman Safari, Indonesia, Surabaya Zoo, and Secret Zoo, Batu. Okay, so we got the cases out here. The government is working on it. So how is this affecting Indonesia? Well, one of the ways is processed milk sales. Processed milk sales affected by foot and mouth disease. Director of the Diamond Group subsidiary, Diamond Fair Retail Indonesia, Melissa Huang, she said that the foot and mouth disease outbreak affecting a large number of cattle across several regions has had its effect on the milk processing industry. She said the impact of FMD on the Diamond Group has reduced milk production by 30 to 40%. Okay, this is not a Diamond product, but this is what I've been drinking recently. Greenfields, and Greenfields has been okayed. And the government has said that there is no problem with them. Melissa admitted that there's a shortage of supplies due to the large number of cows that are not surviving or able to be milked. She said farmers have started treating their cattle with antibiotics due to FMD worries, and by law, antibiotics are prohibited from being contained in food ingredients, so you can't use those animals to get milk. Melissa said that the company would try to maintain the quality of milk by strictly sorting incoming milk supply to match established quality requirements. She said from a business point of view, Diamond needs a supply of milk so that production is stable and will reject anything that has a negative impact on consumers. Thank you. According to her, consumers need not be afraid to consume Diamond's dairy products because they have passed strict due diligence. And so that's good news. So this is a report of what's happening right now in Indonesia in terms of foot and mouth disease. Now, how are countries reacting? And I'm thinking of two countries where we get tourists from, one Australia, right? And there have been talks about, they're gonna ban travel to Bali, and apparently the government has decided they're not banning travel to Bali. Well, New Zealand has chimed in here too, because we get people coming in from New Zealand as well. Ardern urges extra travel precautions to prevent foot and mouth outbreak. So New Zealand's Prime Minister urged travelers coming from Indonesia to take extra precautions, and in some cases to stay away from farms for at least a week to prevent local foot and mouth outbreak that could devastate the crucial livestock industry. The Prime Minister said New Zealand has never had an outbreak and we want to do all we can to keep it that way. Central bank modeling projects that widespread foot and mouth disease in New Zealand would have an estimated direct economic impact of around 10 billion New Zealand dollars after 2 years. The Prime Minister said Biosecurity New Zealand, the country's agency to keep pests and diseases out of the country, is stopping any traveler from bringing personal consignments of milk products from Indonesia and requiring them to use foot mats to wash their shoes at airports when they return. And I understand Australia doing the same thing, right? You have to go through a disinfectant thing with your shoes. The PM said to all New Zealanders and travelers, please be responsible. Please be honest and thorough in your biosecurity declarations when you return from overseas travelers. She stressed that any travelers that have had any interaction, any contact with animals in Indonesia need to stay away from farms in New Zealand for a week. She said ports were also taking extra precautions to make sure nothing, including shipping containers coming into the country from Indonesia, might be contaminated. So fortunately, so far, we do not have a ban from any countries, and we're going to keep on this story as usual because this is a big one. Okay, and some good news on tourism front. Domestic tourist visits to Bali approaching normal. 28,000 people. So according to the head of tourism market development of the Bali Tourism Office, the number of people coming through, domestic tourists coming through per day is now up to 28,000. And he said that before the pandemic, domestic tourism was coming in at an average of 30,000 a day, so we're almost up to normal. And he said most of the domestic tourists come by land with the entrance to Gilimanuk Harbor. And he said this month, the tourist visits have risen 20% compared to the previous month. And part of the reason for that was the school holidays, which are, I think, pretty much over now. My granddaughter's back in school. Everybody here in Bali, I think, is back in school. And I haven't seen hordes of Javanese school children around, so maybe vacation is over because 17th of August is coming up, right? And that's a big holiday here, Independence Day. According to this article, foreign tourists in July up to 7,000 to 8,000 a day, over 6,000 a day in June. Tourists in 2019 were averaging, foreign tourists, 16,000 to 17,000 a day. Now, as I've said before, these numbers, well, they get thrown around and they don't always match. Like one department says this and one department says that. We'll just take this and say, okay, the numbers are up. And I think if you've watched any videos or if you are here, you can verify that there are more foreigners here than before, and domestic tourists as well. And Pak Gurandika said, peak season is August, and I'm sure there's going to be more, right? August has been a crazy time, and I've heard on social media yesterday, somebody in Ubud said, it's crazy here. There's people everywhere. Okay, I'm staying away from Ubud until maybe October. Okay, let's get down to Bules Behaving Badly. First one is a bad news one. Fascinating vacationers to Bali. 3 Caucasian Brazilian drug couriers arrested. So 3 Brazilian men were arrested for trafficking drugs at their inn in Canggu, North Kuta, Badung, Thursday, July 21st. So that's a week ago almost. Sources said that they were turned in by somebody in the public. Right? Somebody turned them into the cops. The 3 suspects came to Bali under the guise of having a vacation, even though they were actually cross-border drug couriers, according to this source. The police do not want to comment on this at this point because they are still collecting information. And so, have to see what happens with this story. And so, there's some Bules Behaving Badly who are probably going to be doing some hard time. And this last story is just too bizarre, and it's been all over Indonesian social media and the Indonesian press because, well, it's just, foreigners acting stupid, behaving badly, acting stupid. What is it? Viral Caucasian in Bali peeing on motorcycle when stopped at red light. Yes. Now, they don't know who this foreigner is. And I love the lead sentence here. It's just what foreign citizens, WNA, do in Bali. We're all being put in the peeing in public category. The latest and now viral activity by foreigners is peeing on a motorbike while waiting for a red light at the MacD intersection in Sanur. I'm sure that you have been through that intersection. It's a big, huge intersection, very famous. If you've been to Sanur, taken the bypass, you know exactly where that is. Well, he got stopped at a red light, and he apparently decided to pee while he was sitting on his motorcycle. So local Indonesians in the car next were offended. And of course, if you're offended, what do? You bring out your phone and you make a video of it. And they did, and they posted it on social media, and wow, Indonesians went nuts. understandably outraged that somebody would do this, pee in public in a major intersection. Now, if you've lived in Bali for a long time, you have passed most likely a car with somebody standing outside on the other side of the car, usually up in a rural area, peeing. That's one thing, peeing in a major intersection on your bike, out in the open, that's something else. So the peer was wearing black glasses with a yellow helmet. Calmly, he urinated on his motorbike. According to Denpasar Traffic Police Commissioner Niputu Ustariani, we're still looking for his whereabouts. It's definitely a violation of the traffic law. And this is being reported everywhere in Bali. It's on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and on all of the news sources, Bali news sources. It's just too weird. Okay, that's it for today. If you found this video useful, helpful, informative, interesting, scintillating, non-irritating, amusing, I would be happy if you gave it a thumbs up to help it get spread on the YouTube algorithm. And if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Videos are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Here and there, I put Singaraja snippets, videos just walking around the city, and I've got a couple ready to put up, and those will be coming up sometime soon, maybe tomorrow. On Sunday, there is a cooking video with my wife. She is on a different channel now. I don't know how that's going to work out. We're going to stick with this for a while and see. I'm hoping to get more Indonesian visitors that way because we're making it more Indonesian friendly, Indonesian language friendly. And if you want to see those cooking videos, and she is an incredible cook, you can take a look up here. Okay, thanks for viewing. Stay safe. Be kind to someone today, and I hope you're having a great day because I am, and I will see you on Friday.